So this is a 420. It's a stone on the square. And this is a response to Sonya Massey. So I'm gonna give people a minute to get in and see what I'm talking about. Let's get some people up in here. I'm gonna do some invites. I didn't want to address none of these scare tactics, the drama, but some of this stuff. Oh shit! Slow connection. What the fuck? No wonder. Hey, how y'all doing? So, I'm about to dig into this Sonya Massey codes. So, let me give you a little background as the people start coming in. Y'all share the video. I've been getting spirit knocks from Sonya Massey. I've been ignoring them because I know they use these events to corral us in to this political theater. Can't call it nothing less than theater, right? And so today I get up, I'm checking my messages, and somebody sent me a video of Miss Dean on a walk with the ancestors. And she's channeling this lady, Sonya Massey. And she not really understanding what the codes she giving her. She not, she dropping the codes, she not translating them. So a couple of things that I need to point out is the dates, the number, and the names. This any when you know the meaning of the name, the significance of the numerical value of the date, the day of the week, and then you also know numerology. They tell us 13 is a bad luck number. It's not bad luck for the earthborn. It's bad luck for the ones who don't belong. So to undermine the divine feminine, to undermine the restoration of the matriarchy, they do blood rituals on days and dates that have a numerical value of 13 in order to tear somebody down that's rising to prominence. And it's the same as a sleight of hand trick where they slightly distract you over here, but they're doing a trick here. It's the same thing, right? So she rattled off some names. She rattled off, one of the names was Sandra Bland. Sandra is also pronounced Sandra. Sonya is short for Sandra. Sonya is tied to Sony, which is another rendition of Sophia. When we talking divine wisdom of the feminine. So when you're looking at these events, the short story of the Sandra Massey is the Gerald Massey wrote Destruction of Black Civilization. I don't know if they related or not, because I'm not going to investigate to find out. So if you investigate to find out, it's gonna appear what you're looking for. But I'm not digging, because I see the cover story, which is the part of the story you're supposed to see first. You're supposed to always see the cover story before the backstory comes to the forefront. The cover story is that the lady was being stalked by a prowler and called the police, and then when the police got there, they shot her in the face because she had boiling hot water. So she said the blood of Jesus, and he shot her. If you go back down my page, Instagram or Facebook story, you're going to find that we are already told everybody that there was Manchurian candidates unleashed in Illinois. A Manchurian candidate is derived from a program of the government called MK Ultra. Manchurian candidates have been being used. Zimmerman was a Manchurian candidate. The guy Chauvin in the George Floyd case was a Manchurian candidate. When they send them at certain people, they give them what's called a activation code under hypnosis. In the case of Bobby Kennedy Sr., Sirhan was a Manchurian candidate. In the case of John Lennon, the guy who shot him was a Manchurian candidate. In the case of Ronald Wilson Reagan, the guy that shot him was a Manchurian candidate, illegitimate son of George Herbert Walker Bush. That's why he looked exactly like Jeb. All this is already information I put out years ago. Now, these Manchurian candidates is sent at specific people, and they don't know until they activate it what they supposed to be there for. They don't know why am I here? Like, they confused. Why am I here? What am I doing at this location? What most of us don't know, it was the police had been staking out this lady's house. It was the police prowling in her yard. It was the police looking in her windows. And then when she tried to complain of it, they told her that she was mentally unstable and she needed to go to a psych ward. Which is apparently what they saying, that before she made the call, she left the psych ward. Now remember, a lot of our elders and a lot of our people is saturated with the Christian doctrine. And in the crisis, a lot of our people was told to plead the blood of Jesus. That's the wrong answer. Flat out wrong answer. Because they got you believing Jesus is other than who Jesus was, then they telling you how to trap yourself. So if you pay attention, you can see him activate with the code. They didn't care, they didn't care about the water. She had put the water down already. If you go back and watch the clip, she put the water on the counter and she turned around and she looked at the police. Whatever she saw, she said, the blood of Jesus, and all hell broke loose. One day y'all gonna wake up to the games that these people playing with us. I don't know when it's gonna be. I don't know what's gonna be y'all final straw to snap you out of this hypnotic slumber we under. That is critical for analysis. And all of these election time acts of violence against us is to confuse us to the climate of the political arena that's really a stage show. While they in the front ground running their stage show, the most of us that see what's going on staying out the way because we don't agree with it. But some of us are full-fledged participants in the events. So Decode, remember, she was popped in the eye. It's critical to know which eye it was. I think it was the eye of Horus, or the right eye, which is really the eye of Osiris, and the left eye is the eye of Horus, because the right eye was given to Sekhmet to wage war against the patriarchs by Ra. But the right eye, the left eye, was given to the son, Heru, by the mother Isis, to see through the deceptions and to restore the matriarchy at the right time. So he activates on the blood of Jesus his Manchurian candidate programming. It's so obvious to me, but it's not obvious to most people. So I try not to say nothing, because I get annoyed when people on the other side act like I'm the only person that can read code. If, for instance, let's say, if I tell B-Dale, hey B-Dale, go back over the election time shootings over the last, since 2012. Look at the numerology, look at the name definitions, and tell me what you see. He gonna be so freaking detailed in what he come up with that it would almost be unbelievable if he didn't have the verifiable evidence laying in front of him that he looking at. You got other people that's not sign readers. They job on Earth is to translate a science. You're right, they can't come in unless they invited, which is a critical part. So we always taught that if you call for 5-0, as we call them, they supposed to come and defend us from whatever the threat is. Most of these cases where these innocent people is being removed by law enforcement is because we called them. Either we called them or somebody called them on us. But you got to summon them demons for them to act. And so they tricked her into summoning them. As they walking around this lady house in the middle, well, it's dark outside. I don't know if it's the middle of the night. They tapping on her windows and, bumping the side of the house with these big old flashlights so she can hear they out there. She's a female at home alone, by herself, at home alone, no protection, no men around, just her, no witnesses, just her. So whatever they say, they already know. The only witnesses present, fortunate for body cams that they videoed it, because if they wouldn't have videoed it, then she would have been the instigator and it would have been ruled justifiable. But body cams is how they exposing the fraud of them people they calling the police. They don't belong here. I don't got no love for them at all. None. Crooked ass cops. Now, on the Walk with the Ancestors, Miss Dean was talking about this secret society that these police belong to, but she didn't know the name of it. It's called the Blue Wall. It's called the Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP, and they call it the Blue Wall of Silence because they don't tell on each other. And if they catch one that tell on each other, they feed them to something called the Internal Affairs Bureau, IAB. Oh, they got all these alphabets because they showing you who they is. 3-letter organizations. Chevron shielded government agencies. Chevron can't protect them no more. Right? So that's the organization that they are members of. Now they can be sheep dipped from the York Rite, from the Scottish Rite, from the Shriners, from the Oriental Lodges. They can be sheep dipped from all of them, but when they get in that uniform, they governed under the FOP. And those people are frauds. They don't belong here. They chartered out of London, England. The operational manual comes from London, England. They rules of conduct was written in London, England, or copyrighted over there at least, if the very minimum. But the key charter to them is held by the families in Buckingham Palace. You got to remember who the invaders was during the American Revolution, during the Civil War. Who was we fighting? Because for the last, since the so-called emancipation, which was actually putting everybody in slavery instead of liberating somebody from slavery, that's why all of the so-called slaveholders got reparations, but none of the slaves. And these events is designed to undermine our ability to think for ourselves. That's it. They sacrifice us in the public in order for them to do their dirt that they done in the private. But when they sacrifice us, they normally make the righteous look wicked while the wicked do their wicked deeds. And that's how you use righteous blood to do wicked deeds with no consequences, because everybody's energy is projected up on the victim as if they're a victimizer. And this is how come the police always look like they right no matter how wrong they be, because they have what's called the appearance of legitimacy. The appearance of legitimacy is their uniform. It's a uniform system. It's a commercial system. All crime is commercial. So it's a uniform commercial system and is governed by a uniform commercial code. The uniform commercial code used to be known in ancient times as the Code of Thieves. We don't remember that because many of us was in the amnesia in order to fight these enemies on a leveled playing field, because most of them had amnesia too, but most of them didn't. Half of them didn't. Had a sizable portion of them that was under the amnesia, but they kept putting us under amnesia with slaughterhouse blood ritual, right? The serial killer blood ritual, the mass murder blood ritual. All these is blood rites to keep us in the stupor, to keep us under the social conditioning that was derived by a hypnotist named Dr. Esther Brooks, who was the foundational hypnotist to the MK Ultra program. And it was his science that they've been using since the 1930s to try to keep us as oppressed as possible with these Manchurian candidate hypno-assassins. The same thing with the Trump in the ear thing. Sooner or later, y'all catch on. It's a big old shit show. Look, if you look at the map, put you a ruler from Hollywood to DC. They direct opposite sides of the country. That means we trapped between a stage show and an open theatrical performance. And sooner or later, we're going to realize that. this theatrical performance comes to an end soon. You got to remember, they done already made the announcement that we was going to have a year-long celebration. I posted it a couple days ago again. I posted it several times because people behind. That means whatever they going to do has to be done by the end of the year, by January 31st. Right? Now, they've been running into billions of dollars missing from this bank. Billions missing from that bank. What this is going to do is a systematic shutdown of the system, because they got to do something called fiscal accounting. The fiscal accounting is where, for the past year, from October the 1st to whatever it ends in September, they have to come up with an accounting of the currency. This time they're not going to be able to balance or artificially balance the books, because the debt of the banks that's collapsing will be so huge that they can't even pencil whoop the books to make it look like they got any chance of keeping their banks intact. We thinking that they operate from January to January. No, that's the illusion they have us under. The fiscal year is the financial year. It's the year that all financial institutions do their books and the balancing of their books in order to be done in order for you to claim taxes come January or February. So that means that the year for the company is a different year from the year from the worker. It's the same thing in religion. The Islamic calendar is not the same as the Christian Judaic calendar, or the Judeo-Christian calendar, what I call Greg's calendar, the Gregorian calendar. Okay, so when they can't cover their end of the deal with the IRS, it's over with. Because now they've lost so much money in their banking systems and in their corporate structures that the IRS don't know how to tax nobody. You can't tax people when the people that's collecting the tax go into so far of a deficit that they can barely pay the people. And they needed the people's participation in this shenanigan in order for them to float their system. This ship that they own, right? This ship that they own, this what they call it, citizenship. The citizenship that they own is sinking. That means that their slaves is going to be all floating on the water. Everybody got to salvage themselves so they don't fall victim to the salvage right of the squatters and the squatters' rights for them to reclaim you. So their citizenship is sinking, and every ship is a national. That means every ship that fly a flag has a nationality. Stake a totem pole in your front yard. It don't have to be big. Put a totem pole in your front yard. That's the same as when they told them in Exodus to smear their lampposts in front of their house with the blood for the Passover. Go to the novelty shop, your local flea market, or wherever you can, and get you a little totem pole and put it in front of your house if you from the land. If you are African American that came from Africa, it ain't gonna do you no good no way, so don't even worry about it. So all of you unapologetically Africans, this has nothing to do with you. I'm just talking to the natives from the land, that's on the land, that's reclaiming the land by birthright and by family structure and family order. I'm not talking to the ones that's fighting for reparations, because when we get done killing this system, they're not gonna have anything left to give y'all. They done already lost it all, because they surrendered everything in the Indigenous Rights Act, but we don't know how to read. And so we don't even know they gave us everything back. All we had to do was follow the tribal tradition or the tribal oral tradition and inform the people of the fraud being taking place in your face, behind your back. So while they was doing a dirt in your face, I'm telling you the part that's behind your back. The sorcery, the nefarious magic practices, all this stuff. Right? Okay. Now, jasmine is a flower and McCoy is the real deal. If you go back and you look up the real McCoy, you'll find it was in reference to the auto industry, and the real McCoy was the one that you had to have. You couldn't go for the fakery, the fraud. See, this is when Made in America was predicated upon the principles of quality, right? So when the new systems came in and they was lacking in quality, the auto industry came out with a guy last name Deming, who put emphasis on quality over quantity in the production of the automobiles, and they laughed him out of the big three. When they laughed him out of the big three, he went over to Japan and gave it to Subaru, and he ain't never looked back. He got books out on quality and quality control. His last name is Deming. So, where we at now, none of this stuff ain't working. Every trick that they've tried before is not working. Now, I done had some strange events happen in the last couple days. Me and Empress did a video the other day. When I got off the video, I went to lay down to go to bed that night, and it was clear as day. I heard a lady singing opera. It was clear as day. I heard a lady singing opera. The only thing about it is there was no TVs on, there was no radios on, and there was no neighbors playing music. But that lady was singing that's the fat lady. So when the fat lady sing, the stage show is up. And I've been looking at these signs, and it looked like that Massey Gray is gonna be the one doing the singing. What's going on, nephew? Yep, he in there. He down in the barbershop. You know where it's at? It looked like Massey Gray gonna sing a song probably at the Olympics. So, which takes me to the next piece of dirt that I don't want to talk about, but I'm obligated to talk about it. We seen Snoop Dogg carrying the blunt torch at the Olympics. And the Olympics started with a drag queen mockery of the Last Supper. Drag queen, cross-dresser, transgender, whatever they was, and one child that symbolizes pedophilia. The reason that is because the 12 disciples is the 12 daughters of Isis, and the one that they call in Jesus is Isis, and the returning of the Christ energy is the mitochondrial frequency of the restoration of the 12 daughters of Isis, and number 13 being the Earth Mother. The Earth Mother sits on what we call it today the Isis seat, but really the name of it is the sacerdotal seat, or the sacred seat of the earth rulership. The sacred seat is the seat that the one with the blood right sits on in order to reclaim everything. This is why they running these psyops, right? Because if they can keep y'all ignorant to the stuff that I'm talking about, you won't never see the dirt that they trying to do, but they can't stop what's coming. They done tried. They done tried every low-down, slime ball, underhand, banana in the tailpipe, backbiting, and deceptive strategy and tactic on us. It's just that I've been inoculated. You can't trick me with that BS. And it don't make me better than nobody. I just use magic different than other people. So, if y'all know Miss Dean from A Walk with the Ancestors on YouTube, send her this video because it's going to answer some questions for her. And my preference for the person that I want to dig into the names, the numbers, and the dates of these people is B-Dale, because I love to watch him work. So tag B-Dale, tag Miss Dean from A Walk with the Ancestors, because I'm not going to dig into it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to go through all of this. But when I went to go pay my dog feeder and I looked at my cash app, it was $344. I had $187 and it was another set of numbers on there. It was a message. No, it was the percentage of my phone was 74. That's GD. So the 344, meaning that it's a 2-ball cane flip off of an angel from the Blue House, which is Angel Bay, flipping to Larry Hoover in a discussion about a situation, but I don't know what the situation is, where they need me to talk about the 187, which is the LA code off of Big Tookie on the Crip line, to tell me that there was a homicide. So I'm listening to the codes and I'm giving y'all what they want me to talk about that I don't want to talk about. I'm sick of this stuff. I'm sick of people being sacrificed, and it's a waste of time now. Now you just killing people because the sacrifices ain't working no more. Now you just killing folk. You just killing indiscriminately now. Your sacrifices ain't working no more. That stuff has been nullified. It's been already overruled by Mama and Son, Isis and Horus, the Crown Prince of Heaven and Earth, and Big Mama. They said it ain't gonna happen no more. It's over with. So you just killing people now only to flip a code. There's no sacrificial value to it no more. All that blood on the dance floor, red bottom shoes, blood on the wall, we raw to the core. Held back by the system, refused to be poor. We know what's going on now. We woke. I look half asleep because I only been up a couple hours, and it take me a long time to wake up and a long time to go back to sleep. So I don't wake up quick and I don't go to sleep quick. But I'm going to tell you this, I'm a quick study. Look, until I settle in and I'm fully woke, I don't smoke no herbs. I barely smoke a cigar. All I do is drink coffee, and I wait for my psyche to settle into the 3D so I can see what's going on. And I don't have to like it. Just like I don't have to like doing this video. But I got to tell what the ancestors and the elders is asking me to tell in order for us to connect the dots to break free from the trickery. This is all tricknology of the devil in the first degree, double speak, political jargon BS. And I don't like it, and I don't want to participate in it. Right? So, I need to get back in touch with Miss Dean, because I haven't talked to her since we did the video together and we was talking about the fall of the government. Because she did it. It was very, very, very powerful the way she did the video. And then she dropped some receipts at the end. It's only like 20 minutes long, so make sure y'all watch it. And she was telepathically communicating with the girl. And she was talking to her from the other side, and she was talking about the eyes of the cop being some kind of way lit up. That's the activation that she was looking at of a Manchurian candidate. His activation code was the blood of Jesus. That's what made everything go south. She was relying on her spiritual training from her Christian elders that got her dealt with harshly by these forces. They did that on purpose. They know what they doing the same way they sent them Zingies, them Negroes went and got Emmett Till and blamed it on the pale faces. Wasn't no goddamn pale faces. Them was the people we've been fighting the whole time that look like us, but they not us. And they've been hiding behind pale faces. They've been finding patsies. If you find out where that term comes from, it'll make a lot more sense why we use it. But they've been finding patsies to take the fall that don't look like us, so we'll always be looking at the wrong people as the actual enemy, while the actual enemy is standing right next to us talking about black power, brother, and kill Whitey all the time. This nigger Whitey, he the one sending our kids to kill each other, telling them I wouldn't take that if I was you. This one. But he telling us that kill Whitey. He Whitey. He darker than me, his hair nappier than mine, and he the white man. That's the heartbreakingest part of this whole drama. Because we've been so conditioned to believe that this racist agenda was being pushed by some people that don't look like us, and it was wrote as the protocols of the wise men of Zion by some people that look like us, but they not us. They not us. Albert Pike is a mulatto. George Washington, the real one, was from Barbados. The other George Washington, the third one, was the dude that wrote the Illuminati dude. What's his name? This is a lot of information I'm blocking because I don't want to do all this. I don't want to do this video. I don't want to talk about this political stage show. I'm sick of it. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you his name. Albert Pike, George Washington. He's the founder of the Illuminati, the Bavarian Illuminati. I can't remember his name right now. Adam Weishaupt. That's the other George Washington. So they take the writings of these three characters and the works of these three characters, and they ball them up in the ball, and then they send you one way to go chase after Adam Weishaupt. They send you another way to go chase after the Albert Pike George Washington. But the real George Washington is a Washita native from the land. I want to say more, but I can't use more because it's been hijacked as a catch term to include all of the people that look similar, and that we ain't the same. We not the same. They don't vibrate on our frequency, right? So while they got us looking in all these misdirection, double cross, finger pointing, following the old switcheroo, half of us don't know that 80-year-old Joe Biden then grew almost a foot in a week and a half at his age. I ain't never heard of nobody growing a foot in no 2-3 weeks in puberty. How did sucker grow? Look, how did Jill Biden top her head go from being eye level to here? They showing y'all to wake up. Wake up. That's what they telling y'all. We are tricking you in your face. Wake up. Hello. This is so obvious. You can't miss it, but you miss it every time. Miss it every time. I ain't never seen no person over. Matter of fact, I never seen a human grow no whole foot in a month. I never seen it. I know a lot of tall people, but it took them some years to get that tall. None of them grew a foot in 1 month. None of them, especially no 80-year-old. 80-year-old broke down, decrepit old cripple that can't even walk. All of a sudden, he's walking flawless now. They must have did some magical stuff to help him out. Because he didn't grew an inch, he stopped stumbling and stuttering. What's going on? We ain't catching that. All of a sudden, come on. Look, Kamala playing double dutch. 1 minute she in, 1 minute she out. That's called being flaky. Right? That's called being wishy-washy. That means she's getting whooped from pillar to post by somebody that's telling y'all that it's more than one Kamala Harris, and one of them a man dressed in drag. Y'all, they don't want to believe it. Just like they don't want to believe the Pope a drag queen. the Dalai Lama a drag queen, and all these other priests running around with these dresses on as drag queens, hijacking the priestesses of the earth. And if you don't get that, then you still stuck in the matrix, and you probably won't make it out of this in one piece, mentally, emotionally, nor psychologically, nor spiritually. If you ain't woke by now, when you don't see all of these people masquerading as the women of the earth so that they can usurp power and jurisdictional authority over you, you tricked, you trapped, you mentally, emotionally, spiritually trapped. It's a game. It's a whole game. And I ain't with it. I don't like it. And the only reason why I do what I do and go hard in the paint like I do is because I want to see my elders walking free before they breathe their last breath. I want to get them in these healing chambers so they can live another 50 years and make up for the 50 they lost in prison. This is sad. It's sad that we as a collective don't realize what's being done to us with these stage show events, energy harvesting blood rituals. That's all they is. They harvesting your energy in the blood ritual. And then you got people coming out. Look, I couldn't give two less than a drop of piss in the bucket what my neighbor doing, and they live right there. Why would I care what somebody on the other side of the country doing? I don't care. They overvalue my caring of somebody that I never seen before in order to attack me. Yeah, that's the chamber. There used to be a sarcophagus, but it come from Atlantean. That's why we don't have a lot of ancient skeletons, because we didn't die. We just go in and regenerate the avatar, reset it to optimum performance, and come out like we was when we was at our mental peak, our emotional peak, our spiritual peak, and our physical peak. And we come out of this healing chamber that looked like we had just drunk from the fountain of youth, because that's the origin of the fountain of youth story. The elders just told the imposters it was the water. But water is the symbol for the spirit. And if you don't know that, that's how they tricked them. That's how they kept them looking for a river all this time, never knowing that the real fountain of youth is to harness your spiritual energy. And you're going to override all of these physical attributes, because the spirit is stronger than anything in the physical, and we fighting the spiritual war, and it's being drug out in the physical realm so hard. It's being drug out in the physical realm so hard because it was a hard spiritual war first. We already won the spiritual war. It's just a matter of getting y'all in alignment to your higher conscious self, so that your personal tutor will step forth and show you all this stuff that I'm telling you, where to find it and how to get to it. Ain't none of this stuff a secret. But it's secret from the ones who don't do any of their independent research. It's even secret from the ones that got PhDs through academia, because they only got a PhD in one piece of information that their enemy gave them to master so that they can work for them. We already won. Give my sisters back their stuff so I can go about my business. I don't need mine until after my sisters get theirs, because in the meantime, I'm not worried about being taken care of, because my sisters always look out. So give them back what's theirs by the blood and the right, by birthright, by blood right. Give it to them. Your blood magic ain't working no more. Your casting your blood on the altar of the sacrifice is no longer working. It's incompetent. It's impotent now. It's probably, it's castrated. It don't work no more. And the people are still caught up in that trap. So I tried to do this on Instagram, because I can get the message to more people faster on Instagram. And I'm thinking about opening my TikTok up for lives next. But I'd be really glad when I don't have to do social media no more. Y'all don't know how bad I hate social media. Y'all don't know how difficult it is for me to keep coming on social media, dropping all this information when I hate it so bad. I want to go and dig in the dirt with my babies and get our fingernails dirty where I got to teach them how to get the brush to brush under the fingernail. I don't want to do this social media BS. I don't like social media. It's just a means to an end. And it's a path of least resistance to get the message to the most people in the most diverse places around the planet without me having to go physically from place to place. I hate this shit. And my hate is in proper context because they use social media to ensnare us, got us walking around with these computers in our face all day. I can't stand checking messages, but I gotta do it. But when I get home, I'll let one of my daughters be my message checker. Check the message. If it sounds like it's some difficult, hard stuff, I answer it. If it don't, you can answer it. I don't even want to answer the telephone. I hate the telephone. Right? So I be trying to be nice on the telephone. Well, not nice. I be trying to be cordial on the telephone. I can't stand the telephone. I'd rather see you in your face, look you in your eye, give you a hug, than talk to you on the telephone. I'd rather travel by foot from here to Antarctica to come see you, no matter how long it takes, than take a 2-minute phone call. I hate the telephone. I hate social media, but I got to participate and use this because this is the new ways of the new world. I don't got to like it. I got to do my job, though. I got to tell y'all about these frauds and these fraudsters masquerading as the people of the land, trying to trick y'all into entering into contracts. Stop the contracting. If you need your signature on it, it's a contract. That's signing your name in blood, whether it's red ink or not. Because you trapped into whatever the parameters of the contract, and 9.9 out of 10, there's some stuff in the contract that you don't even know what it means. So you didn't agree to something that you don't even know what you agreed to. This is what it boiled down to. That they call making deals with the devil. The devil wants you to sign a contract, right? Well, who the hell you think got you signing all these? The contract for a driver's license, the contract for a fishing license, the contract for a gun permit, the contract to go into the military, a contract to get out the military, a contract to vote, a contract, even though your vote don't count for nobody but your local government, if that haven't been hijacked. In LA, Chicago, New York, Houston, Dallas, Miami, Atlanta, they don't use your popular vote to elect the mayor no more. It's just the little towns that's still doing it. Them big cities they know who they gonna put in office. They know who they gonna put in office. They was recruiting Mayor Daley when Harold Washington was still alive, but they couldn't get him in there because we loved Harold Washington because he was doing what he said he was gonna do, which is a death sentence for any politician. Any politician that do what he tell you he gonna do, they gonna try to kill him if they don't kill him. If you don't believe me, ask John F. Ask Bobby. Ask Ronnie. Every politician that try to be a man of their word, they either murder him or maim him. You can't be a man of your word and hold no political office. I don't even want to talk about Marion Barry. I don't even want to talk about that. Like, he was smoking. He got caught smoking crack. It's on video. But the question is, he in a hotel room. Who put the video there? Who put the recorder there to catch him? While they was sitting there smoking crack, laughing at him, smoking crack with a hooker. We don't even question them people. The ones who put the video tapes in there, the video cameras, were smoking crack, laughing at him with his hooker, while they smoking crack, getting some head, watching him smoking crack with a hooker. And then they gonna release it to the public like he the only one in D.C. doing it, and they was all doing it. How you think he got turned out? He wasn't just roaming the streets and just bumped into some hooker one day that had a rock and told him to hit it. He was at a D.C. party. He started off ooting. Next thing you know, he's smoking. But because he was the mayor of D.C., which is actually Rome, most of us don't know that, Rome, it was named after Rome. Go look at my Instagram post. You see what I'm talking about. Rome, America was Rome, D.C., the 3 city states. This is just the military branch. They got us in our ignorance signing up for their military, and we don't know until it's too late that they the imposters and the invaders on the land, and we the ones that's filling their military up with the people to enforce a fraudulent jurisdiction over the de jure rightful heirs. We don't know. We believe in what they telling us in these history books until we find out on our own that that's some BS. Lies my teacher told me. Go get the book. Lies my teacher told me. That's just a starter kit, right? Go look up Charlotte Issertby on YouTube where she can tell you about their educational system from the inside because she was the director. And she telling you how all of the fraud in the educational system work, right? Go listen to Amos Wilson, the psychological development of the black child. He'll tell you what they doing on purpose to disable us mentally and emotionally and to overcome us because they don't want us to get physical. They're always worried about us getting angry and killing somebody, and they doing all of the killing in rage. They doing all of the homicides, the 187s. They is. And then they telling us that we so dangerous, especially when you start being an angry black man. He was a big angry black man. That's why they whooped Rodney King. They said he was a big angry black man and they were scared, so they whooped him. And if it wasn't on videotape, they'd all walked. But somebody across the street just decided to record this police traffic stop and caught the whole thing on camera and didn't know what they was getting themselves into. I hope that they copyrighted the tape before they released it so they could have got paid off his misery. Look, Rodney King got drowned in the swimming pool. He got drowned in the swimming pool because he took the enemy side. The same people that was whooping him, he started standing up for the enemy that was whooping him. So he get drowned in this swimming pool. I don't know who did it. I don't even care. Right? I'm from the FTP school of thought. I can give y'all some insight into how I feel about the police. But we need to control our own communities with the elders and the men in the community. And we supposed to, look, children walking to school alone, it's supposed to be a father on every corner on the way to school. Everywhere that the children walk, it's supposed to be a father on every corner. Because you're not finna mess with our babies. That's how we roll. Them other people, they'll sell you their baby the same way they'll sell you their mama. That's how you know they ain't us. And then they stay in our ear telling us how to kill that. I wouldn't take that from him if I was you. He the problem. And when we just don't get it. I've been getting it for years. When I was a child, I made some reckless mistakes. I'm a full-grown man now. You can't come to approach this platinum back gorilla with no BS and think that I'm just gonna fall for it. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So you can't trick me. And if you can't trick me, I'm gonna tell everybody where you tricking them at, so they can't be tricked. And the more of us that can't be tricked, the more of us we got in our rank and file to overthrow this whole dead-ass system. System over with. America failed. Y'all didn't know it, but America failed when y'all put Barack Obama in office. That was it. 9 citizens in the office. That was called a coup d'etat, a hostile takeover. But y'all didn't know he was a clone, that they had made him in a laboratory overseas somewhere to put him in office and masquerade as a intelligent black man who can speak to the masses of the people and sway them to any form of thought that he comes up with. Man, go run him over with a bus if you can dig him up first. Y'all fell for all of the tricks. I'm just telling you. And it ain't personal. I don't have no animosity to nobody that got tricked, because I got tricked first before I found out the trick. Because once you trick me once, you're not going to trick me with the same trick twice. And they keep doing the same thing over and over. They keep repeating the same cyclic information, the same dramatic stage play, right? And at some point, we have to wise up to the fact of what's going on. If we don't wake up, then we don't ascend. I'm woke, so I know I won't be in. I will be in the hereafter heaven on earth scenario of the rising matriarchy, because as soon as me and the Empress get our date down, I'm about to tell these women how to tap into that mitochondria, raise this frequency up in a matter of weeks, and they ain't gonna like it. Ain't nothing they can do about it. Can't stop it. Can't interfere. Can't overcome it. All they can do is, as they say in the West Side Connection, bow down when you come to my town. When you yak town bound. Fool, cause I ain't a hater like you. Bow down to gorillas that's greater than you. So, look, I don't know what these people's problem is and why they dragging this stuff out so long. They want to test us at every turn to verify who we is. Okay, I got another test for you to verify who you is. Okay, I got another test. Man, take your test, roll it up like a diploma, wrap it with a string, pack it and stuff it with as much flour and water as possible. Let it sit up and get hard, and then you go shove that shit up your ass. That's what you do with it. I don't want your tricks. I don't need your tests. I'm the baddest motherfucker ever born. I don't need your tests. And that's not even boasting or bragging or exaggerating. That's just telling you who I am by birthright, by blood right, by intellectual development, spiritual development, and raising myself from the ashes that they left behind, and reading what all my ancestors told me to do and how to move on the information they gave. Well, everybody else thought that they was following some religious doctrine. I was following some tribal protocols in order to reclaim all this stuff. I want these suckers gone. I'm tired, fed up, exhausted, wore out. But I ain't always ready, too tired for a fight. I'm ready for a good fight. But I'm tired of brain banging. I want to knuckle up. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Biden. I don't care if it's the commander of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. We can go out in the backyard and settle it. It could be Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un. I don't care who it is. We can box about it. And then we'll figure out what's really going on and who really got them hands versus who got that talk. This is not me. I don't do all this tongue wrestling. I'm doing this for the people. Because Mama said you can't go out and start no bloody war if you want to try to save the people. You got to educate them first. Because once they get educated, you won't never have to fight a war. And all you had to do is drop this information that you learning, and you will be able to reach more people than you can by hitting people upside their head. Some of these people need to be hit upside the head still. I don't care how much you tell them, they can't hear it. They need lumps. They need understanding marks. They need GD shades. They need their snot box pushed back. They need their back dirty. They need their lips fat. They need to be spitting out blood. They disrespectful. They ignorant and entitled. That's a horrible combination for a human soul to be. Disrespectful, entitled, and incompetent. All in one individual. That's not three people, that's one. With the three worst traits that you could possibly have in order to call yourself spiritually awakened. Don't let me get started on these diet-ass woke conscious Negroes. Dude, them suckers there, that diet woke shit. Let me go get some references from the enemy to prove my point. I don't need no effort. I'll tell you what it say. I'm telling you what they codes say, what they saying in your face behind your back. I don't care what they documents say. I'm talking, I want to know what they codes say. Okay, when they come with that document, what's the code in the document? What is the secret society message that's between the lines that you can't read? So while they beating around the bush, I'm reading between the lines. You put it together. Tell me what it is. Since I don't know what I'm talking about, then tell me what you see. Because you might see something I don't see. You know. So shout outs to Miss Dean over at Walk with the Ancestors. Shout out to BDL. Shout out to all the other ones, light workers out here swinging their sabers, they light swords of truth to bring this enemy to his knees once and for all. And I'm ready for heaven on earth. I don't know about y'all. I'm ready to everywhere I go. It's a celebration for no reason. It's just celebrating. We don't need a reason to celebrate. We ain't never needed a reason to celebrate. Now we can only celebrate on the holiday. Who told us that? Where we learn that from? That sounds like some economic entrapment type stuff. We can only have celebrations during the holiday. Man, we used to have parties all the time. Where you think clubs came from? They know what your natural behavior is, and they know how to exploit it to monetize it. The clubs came from our family functions and our family get-togethers that we had on a weekly basis, and at the least a monthly basis. We didn't be estranged from our family for 10, 15 years before we see each other again. That's insane. Now you got kids don't even know they related. They married with kids now. You ain't never knew they was related. Some of them grew old together, never knowing they related, never knowing they family. Right? But they kidnapping babies at the hospital, switching them at the hospital just to see what'll happen. Right? Put this high yellow baby with this Caucasian family and put this Caucasian baby in there and see how they grow up. So now you got two people wondering, why my baby don't look like nobody in the family? They switched your baby in the hospital. That's why. Experiment, social experiment, nurture versus nature. That's one of the biggest experiments they ran on us. That's where your whole doctrine of slavery come from. Nature or nurture. Will the nature of the child surpass the nurture of the child? In other words, is what's in them going to override what you teach them? Nature versus nurture. That's an old experiment. They've been doing that experiment at least 350 years over here. Right? That ain't even got nothing to do with how long they was doing it in Europe, Africa, Asia. But it's the same experiment. All the experiments, they running these experiments because they need to know how you function in order to keep you oppressed. Oh yeah, hey look, if we ever make a time machine, I'm going back in time with an AK-47, and I'm going to put so many holes in tip of tip that you'll be able to see the sun shining through him like he wasn't even there. They better not make no time machine. I'm just going back just to put him in him. He one of the main ones that I want to put some holes in the history books. Because some of the people in the history books that they told you, them ain't even the real people. They done made some characters up and wrote them into a story and told you it was history. Then they turned around and told us the history is written by the victors. Then they turn around, Winston Churchill say, the truth is so valuable that it must be carefully guarded by a ring of lies. Where these people come from? Where they come from? With their well-dressed lies, wearing truth clothes. So all of these psyops, they got more Manchurian candidates, and they got more of this shenanigans coming. It is not working though. So now they just being bloodthirsty killers. They not being priests of the sacrifice. They just killing for nothing. It'll catch up with them. It'll catch up with them. It's hard to understand what I'm about to say, but it's the realest stuff my mama ever told me. Ain't nobody getting off this planet without paying for their dirt. If they don't pay for it while they living, they gonna come back and pay for it later. But most of them gonna leave out miserable, beat down, and half of them gonna probably be in hospice for 2 years, suffering for the dirt they did. Yep. Yep. Karma was the judge of the priesthood of the civil priestesses that they took the sacerdotal seat from. But notice the Pope sit under the sacerdotal seat. He don't sit on it. And then they told us that the underminer, the one who goes under a thing to overthrow a thing, is the enemy, and we ain't even realized that the Pope was sitting on the St. Peter's seat. Peter means is pater. Pater is father in Greek. So he's sitting on the father seat under the mother seat. That means no matter what he do, at any given time when the rightful heir come, he can't take her seat from her. And I'm gonna make sure she sit there. I'm wired a funny kind of way. I never seen nobody wired like me. Cause if it ain't mine, I don't want it. I don't want somebody else's stuff. I only want what's mine. That go for my dog, that go for my bike, that go for my car, that go for my house, that go for my woman, that go for my anything. I don't want what ain't mine. So I'm not gonna never fight for somebody else's stuff to become mine. I'm gonna always fight for me to get what's mine, but in order for me to get what's mine, I gotta make sure my sisters get their stuff first. Because that's what my mama told me. Don't never let nobody take nothing from your brothers and your sisters. Thank you, Latanya Powell, for giving them the rest of the statement. Ain't nobody getting out of here without paying for their dirt. They're not escaping. Ain't none of them going to escape. They all going to find some way to pay for their dirt, whether they want to or not. It don't matter. So that brings today's lesson to a close, people. I don't know what's next, but hopefully I don't have to deal with none of this old human slaughter stage show shenanigans. They sacrifice people from specific bloodlines. If you look at the people they killed and you trace their family lineage back, you're going to find that it was somebody that they hated. There's always somebody in their history that's hated by the enemy. And they the rightful heir to reclaim that family's inheritance, and that's why they try to stop it with the sacrifice. But you ain't sacrificing the righteous for the indignations of the wicked no more on earth. That's over with. That's that Anunnaki shit. That's not flying here no more. Earth is a place of merit. You're going to do your own work to get your own reward. That's it. And then whether you do a good work or a bad work, it don't matter, because you're going to get the reward that's going to match the work you put out. So, y'all share the video. Send it to Miss Dean, send it to B-Dale. Watch B-Dale go in on them numbers, though, because he got the brain for it. He a human calculator, right? So I'm a go and cut out here. I don't got nothing else to say. I didn't say it more than I wanted to anyway. So peace to the fam. We here, we up. It's our turn now. And with that, I'll catch y'all later.